Hi and welcome. Today we're going to talk about specific differences between the United States and other countries when dealing with community-based education. Today we're going to talk about differences within the education in two other countries outside of the United States. Many who continue to think of terms in the yesteryear believe once a person receives a high school diploma that lifelong education is obtained and learning ends. Adult education and lifelong learning should be the central academic indicator for success. This video is going to get more involved within the educational and adult educational programs offered in Iraq and England in comparison to those offered within the United States. Iraq and England are chosen for this project because of the delicate levels of royalty attached to one and the high-end level of conflict that continues to shadow over the other. First, we're going to talk about Iraq. Iraq has suffered through some severe catastrophes, including economic restrictions, political unsteadiness, and wars. Unfortunately, the cumulative effect for the years of instability have severely weakened the Iraqi educational system. This uncertainty has affected the percentage of literacy for Iraqi nation. As a result, Iraq faces a critical situation with rising adult literacy rates. So when we talk about Iraqi and in regards to the different levels of their education-based system within adults, there are some similarities. I did find a video that was very helpful that we're going to take a look at now. Perfect. So next we're going to move on to evaluate within the United States, the United Kingdom. So the United Kingdom created educational programs providing creative methods in which to learn. Additionally, there was an increase of vocational education and training, chiefly focusing on school-age children and also adults with histories of employment. What is more, the United Kingdom government and the European Union have provided a concrete verbal support to the notion of adult lifelong learning. Ironically, both remain relevant to invest community money to endorse this lifetime learning concept, and it's still implemented and used today. So next we're going to focus on the adaptation of another country's model. So on this slide you will see a different comparison within the United States, England, and Iraq. When we're talking about lifelong learning, we're also looking at maybe a more focus on different qualities, framework for lifetime learning, and we're also utilizing any Affordable Act. So CARE Act, Medicare, Medicaid, private insurance are also covered within this module. In the United States and England adapted each other's lifelong learning policies. The situations would be very similar to what is already occurring in both countries today. The population is graying and fewer children are being born. Older adults are staying on the job longer and younger adults are entering the job market at a slower rate. Efforts are being made to promote lifelong learning, services for the elderly, and the physical and mental disabled. Legislation has been put forth in both countries to provide for special populations, including the gay, lesbian, and transgender. More focus is also being brought to bear on the fact that England must not ignore the needs of the refugees from the war-stricken Arab and Africa countries to find a way to bring skill levels up to par to keep pace with job opportunities and build strong future for immigrants today. In the United States, and the Reauthorization of Older Americans Act in 2006 broadened the role of the Administration on Aging to address elder abuse and mental health issues. The administration is also targeting those with limited English proficiency to ensure that they receive necessary services. If either the United States or England adapted the systems in Iraq, it would be a very sad state of affairs, with many of the services that we take for granted going away and liberties of special populations being severely marginalized. So next we're going to look a little bit into the future. Yes, we are creating the future. So when we're creating a future of community-based education, we are comparing Iraqi and English educational systems, levels, and delivery methods demonstrates the contrast of educational level needs and response. Whether a governmental body is seeking the response to basic literacy or to meet the demands of a modern global market through specialized vocational training, and the role of community-based adult educator will still be essential and will require an experimental background. This modern educators will have to understand the needs of the learner, the level of the learner technology literacy, and must have the technological ability to keep up with the new advancements in teaching tools. Every nation has moved into the technology age. Whether an individual can afford it or not, technology is the modern human existence. Students are not different from previous generations. They simply have more tools at their disposal. Due to the advancements in healthcare and the median age of adult learners means the older population that will see the importance of lifelong learning. A shift from traditional learning established in schools and universities will take place and be replaced with a focus on student needs that is individualized and based on creativity. The future of the community-based education model will also be based on the technology platform delivered in the last expensive and most impactful to the learners. According to Butler, Whitman, and Crow of 2013, they quote, "This knowledge society is characterized by the fluid of nature of knowledge, the explosion of new forms of knowledge, and the need to respond to complex, rapidly changing environments. For this reason, educators will need to have an understanding of the modern learner and have experience that will lead into the connection to optimize the learning. The learning process will take place through a tutorial or community-based technology that will facilitate conceptual learning called e-monitoring. By definition, it is a hybrid of the media and the mentoring process." Pretty cool, I know. Educators will develop assessments to determine the learner's technology literacy in order to aid in the delivery of the lessons that the learner is needed. As long as basic symbols understand in any language that are implemented in teaching, educators will be able to facilitate the level of complexity in technology. Children still play with a simple toy called See and Say, where a dial spins to the point of an object of common knowledge to speak, and the word identifies it. The idea behind this will be useful in helping adults to reach that level of technology and be skillful enough to use the tablet, computer, or smartphone to learn about the skills they would need to land a job. For the most basic to the more complex educational curriculum, adult learners will have to embrace technology. Moreover, it will reside for educators of lifelong learning to have experience and understanding to facilitate multi-level learners towards a job-securing endgame in our constantly changing modern world. Wow. If your mind wasn't blown, I don't know what could blow that. So when we talk about the differences between the United States and other countries, there's a lot that goes into it. So we just talked about Iraq, and we also talked about the United Kingdom and involving England of the different areas of comparison with the United States of similarities and within differences. Also trying to base and look out into the future to see what our education system has become today, but also looking in the future and where we will land. We hope you enjoyed our presentation today. Please see our resources that we did reference on the last page on the video. Thumbs up for adult education and learning in the future.